Your payment just skyrocketed and now you can't afford it. Your taxes, insurance, and HOA just exploded as well. Your payments choking you. But guess what? Selling isn't an escape anymore.
It's that time of year again where my mortgage payment's going to go up. So every October, my mortgage company does an escrow analysis, and inevitably they tell me my payment is going up because property taxes and homeowners insurance have gone up for the year. I'm too much of a planner and I'm an accountant working spreadsheets all day, so I could not stand not knowing how much it was going to go up and be given like a 1 month notice. So I looked over their escrow analysis that they provided and I created a spreadsheet to pretty much replicate what they did so I can calculate it ahead of time. I'm sure every company is different, but we are required to have 2 times our escrow payment amount in our escrow at all times. So if it is projected to drop below that 2 times amount, then that is what creates a shortage in the account. We will be projected to have a shortage in the account. So based on my calculations, our monthly payment is going to go up $106.86. I should be getting the analysis report in the next week or two.
I can pack up the house and give it back to you. You can have it. If you own a newly constructed home or you're buying a newly constructed home, stay here. So tell me how I signed a document, all the documents signed, your payment 1907, and you signed 1 million documents. Now, a year later, they hit me up in February talking about your payment is $34.50. I bet it ain't. I bet it's not. So the first year when you buy your home, your newly constructed home, they're only charging you for the taxes, the property taxes on the land, the raw land. Well, the land was only worth $60,000. Well, now that the house has been put on it and now there's a development around you, that now that land this year is worth $110,000 and they put a 400 and something, almost $500,000 house on top. So now your taxes are going to go to correct. So now your mortgage is going to increase. Now, when they done tell you got a fixed rate, you got a fixed payment and all, they not explaining to you that the property taxes will increase that payment.
So a lot of these homeowners who bought 2 years ago or 10 years ago, and with the sudden skyrocketing property taxes and insurance and other costs, if they cannot afford their homes and their payments jump $100 a month, $200 a month, up to $3,000 a month, yes, up to $3,000 a month, why aren't they selling it? And the question is, why can't they sell it? Well, the reason they cannot afford their payment and the reason they cannot sell it is because fixed rate mortgage payments does not mean fixed rate mortgage payments anymore. So when a homeowner buys a house and they have an escrow payment, which means they pay escrow company principal, interest, tax, and insurance, their principal and interest is fixed for 30 years if they have a fixed rate. But the taxes and insurance, and if they have HOA, that is not fixed. So what has happened is because insurance skyrocketed, because property tax skyrocketed, we are seeing payments doubling and tripling. Of course, there are payments that are only going $50 a month higher, $100 a month higher. But there are states like Texas and Florida and other states, they have skyrocketed. And depending on what region or area you are in, like I'm in the wildfire area in California, and my home insurance has skyrocketed as well. So because of these, they cannot afford to hold on to these homes anymore. At the same time, a lot of people are behind on their mortgage payments. Their income has not gone up. So they cannot even sell their home because even if my mortgage jumped from $3,000 to $6,000 and I'm thinking about selling my house, I cannot afford to buy another house because home prices have gone up. Interest rates have gone up. Furthermore, because my credit is ruined now, when I say mine, I mean a typical consumer or a home seller, because the credit is ruined because of being late or being defaulting on the payments, the credit score is no longer any good, so they cannot buy something or qualify because the FICO scores are bad as well.
My mortgage went up $1,000 and I am not okay. So let me tell you guys, for the longest time, people be screaming from the hilltop, home ownership is not it. Like, don't rush, don't rush. And I will just be like, I don't understand it because I'm literally chilling, like cheaper than rent. I was bamboozled. So let me tell y'all what they do not tell y'all about real estate. So they do an analysis every year from, at least with the mortgage that I got, right? And so they did an analysis and basically my mortgage increased by $1,000. And I asked them why. And they were like, something about my house is a new build. And so I guess they charged me for the taxes when it was just the land for 2 years. Then after year 2, they add the taxes with the house actually on it. And they were like, yeah, your builder is supposed to tell you. They didn't. They didn't. And so I asked them, can I sell the house? And they were like, there's no equity in it.
So the question is, why can't these homeowners, troubled homeowners, sell their home or thinking about selling their home? Well, they cannot sell their home. Let's analyze some of those points right now. One of the first reasons they cannot afford to sell and buy is because they locked into the 2 to 3% interest rate or 4% interest rate, those who bought 4 or 5 years ago. So now, if they try to buy the same house or a smaller home with 6 or 7% interest rate, and the same home's 30-40% more than what they bought, they just can't qualify. There's no way. The second reason these homeowners cannot sell their home is we may think, yes, they have a lot of equity. Yes, and they do have a lot of equity, or they may have had a lot of equity. But what has happened over the years is some of these homeowners did several things. One, a lot of them refinance or pull the money out to remodel or take a vacation or pay for kids' college or whatever. Furthermore, a lot of them home equity line of credit or refinance to adjust their payments to restart the loans, and they pull some cash out. Furthermore, a lot of the areas have seen a price drop, a significant price drop. Cities in Florida, cities in Texas, cities in Chicago, Denver, Philadelphia, some cities in North Carolina, Tennessee have seen drops anywhere from 5 to 10% in their equity, in their home prices, which means there's a drop in equity. Furthermore, if they sell their home, they have to pay potentially a capital gains tax. They have to pay or fix their home up, bring it up to date. They have moving cost, closing cost, attorney fees. So if you take all those expenses when your equity has dropped, you don't have a lot of down payment left to buy into another house and then pay higher prices and pay higher interest rate. It just does not make sense. The numbers just don't work for them anymore. The third reason they cannot afford to buy another house is when they buy a newer house, which they might have bought 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 3 years ago. These homes prices have gone up. That means your property tax will go up. Your interest payments will go up because the rates are now 6%, 7%. Your insurance will go up because it's new house, higher price. Insurance have gone up. So not only home prices are up and interest rates are up, but all other costs are up. So that puts another damper in their thinking about moving if they have any choice at all. The fourth reason they cannot move if they sell their home and try to go rent, well, there are two issues. One, they don't have good credit, so they may not be able to get rents. And I know certain homeowners that tried to sell and get rental homes and they could not get any. I have a house for rent right now and I got 3 applications and all of their credits is under 600, not under 700, but under 600. One couple had an average FICO score of 550. There's no way my landlord is going to rent it to them. That's just not kosher enough for any landlord to rent them. But here's the other kicker why they cannot rent. If I was a homeowner in trouble and when I bought my house, let's say the mortgage payment was $2,000 a month, and now because of higher insurance, higher property tax, higher HOA, other expenses, I'm already paying $3,000 a month, which I cannot afford. So now if I sell my house and then try to go rent, I'm going to pay $3,000 a month rent anyways. So my mortgage payment is $3,000 with the higher rates, and a similar home will cost me $3,000 in rent because the rents have skyrocketed as well. So it's a dilemma that is here. Hear out this gentleman's story.
How are we supposed to buy a house when my rent is going up another $195 a month? It has gone up $720 in 4 years for the same place that I live in. $8,640 a year more for the same place I lived in 4 years ago. I'm sorry, property taxes are not going up that much that landlords are charging that much more. We have to stop blaming the economy, the government, the president. It is greedy people taking more profits in. When people tell you, just move somewhere else, why would I move to another state that's cheaper? Why should I have to uproot my family, lose my career, just to afford to live somewhere? You're implying people who live in where I live now don't deserve a fair shot at cost of living. And places with cheaper rent pay lower salaries. That's how this whole thing works for the most part. And my girlfriend's a teacher. Like, if she moves to a state with a cheaper cost of living, she might not even have a pension or her benefits anymore. Instead of telling the middle class to keep, like, looking somewhere cheaper, why don't you all align together and get people out of control that are doing this to us? You are always closer to being homeless than you are to being rich. Like, everyone just assumes one day they're going to get rich. And that's why they don't stand up for people just like them in the struggle right now. If not for the raise I got 4 years ago, I would be totally screwed. I don't even want a handout or help. I just want things to not be so crazy expensive every year. Like, go buy pizza from where I work. Go buy my merchandise. I don't know. Not a handout, just advertising.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that rent's expensive. For a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment where I live right now, it's about $2,900, and my portion is about $2,000 plus a $150 late fee because my payday falls on the 9th or 10th of every month because I'm a paraeducator and we only get paid monthly. We've gone through the channels to see if I can get my lease extended so I don't have to pay a late fee, because I think it's ridiculous that I have to pay a $150 late fee, which used to be $50, mind you, because I have no control on my payday. The managers here on property know about my situation. They know where I worked. They know all that information. Yet they still charge me the $150, which is totally unfair. I've gone through all the channels through the corporate offices to see if I can get that lease extended for rent to be due on the 9th or 10th of each month instead of getting charged $150 extra, because they do bank on those late fees. And the rent being so ridiculously expensive, taking almost 90% of my paycheck. And I don't get paid a lot. And I'm a 9-month employee, so imagine that. Yeah, they have signs around this property saying that if you love where I live, if you recommend any friends or family to rent here, we get $250 off of our rent.
Homeowners cannot leave because rents are just as expensive and they're locked into their current lifestyle. It's a psychological and financial trap that they have gotten into. In the home buying excitement over the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of the buyers bought their homes and they overbought their homes. They bought above their means. They thought everything's going well, market is great, homeowners, my equity will go up, but they didn't account for unexpected expenses like HOAs, property tax, insurance, daily living cost, ice cream cost, egg cost, maintenance cost, utilities, everything skyrocketed, and now they're choking, cannot make the payments, cannot afford to move, cannot afford to rent, cannot afford to stay in the house. They cannot even maintain their house. If the AC is blown, they're living without ACs. If there's a roof leak, they're barely able to fix it because they don't have any money left. Americans are equity rich but cash poor. Any money they have is in the house but not in their pockets. That's another dilemma that has been created. If you buy more than you can afford, you'll be forced to sell at a loss. Sellers are sitting on the sidelines hoping for 2021 prices to return. Meanwhile, their monthly costs are eroding savings and patience. You may feel stuck, but you are not powerless. If you or if someone you know is in this situation, there are solutions. Let's look at those. The first you can do is you can recast your loan. Ask your lender about recasting if you've made large principal payments. This reduces your monthly payments without refinancing. The second thing you can do is if you are paying high property taxes, and I know a lot of people are paying higher property taxes, especially in states like Texas and Florida where they jumped sky high, you can actually appeal to the tax assessor and work with your lender or work with your realtor or work with your county assessor's officer to reduce the property tax. Yes, there are many instances where I've seen where they've actually reduced the property taxes. Your local realtor will be glad to help you. The other thing you can do, and many homeowners are not aware of it, and they should talk to their accountant or again to their lender and realtor, is try to take as many exemptions as you can. What are the exemptions that are available to homeowners? Well, you can start with the homestead exemptions. If you're a senior, if you're a veteran or disabled status, you all can significantly reduce your annual taxes. Yes, seniors, veterans, and other situations, you can reduce your property taxes. Reapply annually or whatever status changes. So if you don't have a status but your next year you become a senior, apply for a reduction. It will help you even if you can drop $50 a month, $100 a month. Any reduction, any exemption will help in a long way because we're talking about monthly payments, not a one-time payment. Imagine saving $50, $100 a month for the next 20 years on your loan. That adds up significantly. One of the other key things homeowners can do, and most homeowners never do that or are not aware that they can even do this, is get an audit on your escrow account. Lenders are required to provide itemized escrow breakdowns. Did anybody go through with it? Do you understand what the breakdown is? If not, ask them. And if the numbers are not right, dispute them and have them reduced or get them adjusted. Many homeowners overpay due to lazy or incorrect estimates. Remember, everybody makes mistakes, including lenders, including realtors, including insurance people, including property tax people. Human error. So know your numbers, review those, make sure they are correct, because a lot of people I know are paying higher property taxes because of human error. If nothing works out, then you may consider a strategic sale and a downsize plan. Maybe you are getting into trouble, maybe not in trouble right now, but you see that in 1 or 2 years, you may be getting into trouble to make payments or to make a living from your payments and increase payments. One of the things you could do is sell now and downsize. Yes, that's a very heartfelt thing to do. But if you look ahead and if you're going to get into trouble, you may want to start downsizing. If you have a 4-bedroom, get a 3-bedroom, or if you have a 3-bedroom house, get a 2-bedroom house, or move into a different area if possible without jeopardizing your career and school lifestyle and your home lifestyle.
Clean houses. Get the smaller house. People have rooms they never go in. So much wasted space. This was in response to a video where I was talking about buying the smaller house so you have a smaller payment, so you have more money to do fun things in your life, have more experiences, maybe buy things you want to buy, save for your retirement, stuff like that. I thought this was a really interesting point. I go into houses where people don't use the entire basement, and that's the reason they're downsizing. It got me thinking, if you are a first-time home buyer, don't buy a house with a full finished basement. You could buy a house with an unfinished basement and finish it as you need it. And then when you have all that unused space, then you're paying extra heating and cooling and extra property taxes and insurance on all of that extra space. Now, we do have guests that come and we need a little extra space for that. But my question to you is, do you have so much extra space that you wish that you wouldn't have bought that house? Then do you have such a low rate that you are staying in that house? Questions asked me. Follow for more tips from Real Estate Bestie.
Maybe you want to consider renting for 12 to 18 months, 17 months. And when the market cools down, when the interest rates cool down, you never know if they will or not. But should that happen, you sell now, save your equity, rent for a while, and then rebuy when you are stable. Distress is here. It doesn't have to get worse than it is already here. So be strategic. Don't be emotional. Yes, it is emotional, but when you have to make a decision, you have to be strategic. You have to be business minded. I always say that you don't have to be stuck in this situation if you are in a financial situation, if you're in an emotional situation because of the skyrocketing home mortgage payments and property taxes and all others. Be strategic. Talk to somebody, talk to a professional, talk to a lender, talk to an attorney. Talk to realtors. They will give you ideas. Talk to your friends and family. There are people who will give you ideas, because when we are in a distress, we think very narrowly. So when you go talk to others, you will open up. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have or resources that you want. So direct message me. I'll be glad to answer any questions or be glad to give you pertinent information that you may need. Have your mortgage payments jumped? What has jumped? Let us know. Share with us and see what you can do or what you are going to do so others can learn from it. So drop a comment. Let us know your situation. Thank you for watching. I'm Mike Patel, Home Service Central. Sell smart so you can gain more.